Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you Monday, February the 1st. The year's 2021. Let's talk trading. Looking at the charts with Walmal. And just so you know, these videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and from Walmal's. So Walmal, when we look at the charts, it's the beginning of the month, so I thought maybe the boys and girls and non-binary traders might like to see, how we look at the charts, what we're looking at, and how we're analyzing things. So I have a monthly chart up showing the high, uh, top. Let's see, I'm showing the high and low of the current and the previous, levels too. The high, the low, the mid, the bottom of the candle, the top of the candle. So what I'm seeing is right now we're sitting right at the, let's see, we're right below the open for one. So on your monthly chart, what do you see?
Right now, on my chart, I'm actually about 30 pips below the open for the month, so it just shows you the range of the day, basically, because this is the first day of the month. But right now, what I see is I look at the previous month, and we had a previous high on my charts anyway. It was 37.62, and it looks like, today, for this month, we actually got up to 36, what is it? 36.96. So we came really close to it, but it ran up there, backed off of it pretty quickly. So that tells me that may be something to look at that may be significant into the future. I also go and look left, and if I look far enough left, I look all the way over to the monthly candle from May of 2018, and we had a high at almost at the exact same level. So for whatever reason, this area right now where it went and turned around today, there's some type of significance there. Does that mean that it's going to continue to be a significance? I don't know. But I know it's someplace where price is going to react. And if we go back even a little bit further, we see that it actually ran down to that again. And that was in February of 2018. And it turned around at that line again. So it's sort of telling me, hey, there's some, see, right now, this area, this zone, because it really is not a line, it's more of a zone of a number of pips, is pretty significant. And so that's what I'm seeing. It's like, okay, if price gets back up there, I'm going to watch that price, and I'm going to look for some type of signal for me to go and take a short off of that. Or I'm going to go and look at that zone and see if there's a possibility I can take a break off of it to the other side, because it's broken to the other side of it as well. So that's what I'm seeing right now on the monthly chart, just based on the first day of the month and what it's done in the past.
Right. Yeah, I see that too. And the other thing I see, if you go back to 2016, the June candle, that's a big candle drop. So what I'm thinking is this level here, if it breaks, it might want to try and go up to 144.75, let's call it. I'm not,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be looking for that for a while, because it would definitely have to break, have a couple of days above the previous month's high to start looking long like that. But in today's economy, and political atmosphere, anything can happen. So now we looked at the month. If we come and we drill down to the week, we can see it's definitely cutting into the previous week's lower wick zone.
Yeah, it's just moved into that, and it's interesting. One of your trades, going and trading out of wick zones, and it's so true. That it does not like to go and close inside wick zones. Does it happen? Yeah, it does. But it tries to tend to get out of it. It also tries to tend to go in what I call completing wick zones. So there's a possibility. Last week we saw that wick on the bottom end, it got all the way down to, looking right now, down to 36.11. Well, I'm sorry, I looked at the wrong week, but it got all the way down to 36.10. and so that's a big drop. Could it go and get there? Yeah, it's only 63 pips away, so it could go and try to extend that even further down. What I'm seeing also on this weekly is that if you look at it, we had a nice, uptrend here in terms of going up. You see those higher highs all the way in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles in a row where we had higher highs. And then today's candle, you know what? That high was not a high high. And so are we starting to get a rounding off? It's going to start coming back the other way now.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting to see that.
Hey, would you tell the traders out there what I called earlier before we started the video about an hour ago, where price was going to go?
36.66, I believe, is the actual number that you called it to get to, and you're where we're at right now, 36.69, 68, something like that.
Yeah.
So, pretty close,
Yeah. And so as we drill down, I'll show the traders how I came up with that number. So on the weekly, I think in yesterday's video, I also called out, let's look for it to complete that weekly pivot, and it's done so. So now if we drop down to the daily chart, this is where things, I guess you could say, really gets interesting. Because we're in that lower wick zone of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles on the daily chart.
Yeah.
Did you just take a trade?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
I promise you I wouldn't take any more trades today.
Yeah, well, you were getting ready to, and I told you not to, so.
Yeah, but no, I did not take a trade. But yeah, you're right. We're now in all those wicks, and that tells me that there's something going on here in this area, this zone. You see all those wicks, you see all those big pushes down, and then the rejection of it. Big push down, rejection, big push down, rejection. You see that time in and time again. So it's the type of thing where if I was looking, I can go and trade this one of two ways. I mean, if I was, up at the top part of this particular candle, the type of thing was like, we've had lots of push downs. I could probably maybe I can make some pips by just going and taking a short there and hoping that we go and do another big push down, but at the same time, as we get later into the day, right now it's 10 o'clock on the east coast of the U.S., or pretty close to 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, somewhere between 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock, it usually puts in its lowest low of the day or its highest high of the day. That's just something that we've seen time in and time again. Well, maybe this is the point where we start looking for that big push back up, and who knows? I mean, we may wind up with a doji for today. I don't know. Or maybe the pattern gets broken. But that's why you look at these charts and you say, this is what I think may happen, but that doesn't tell you to go and take the trade. That just tells you this is what I think may happen and gives me a little bit of a bias, and then I look for my actual signal, and then I follow through on my signals.
Right. So I'm going to skip down to the H1 charts so I can show the boys and girls and fellow traders why I called that 66 level, because if you see here, there's these two candles back from the 29th, let's see, these two H1 candles here from the 29th, and you see they got those, what I call, I think, the tweezer bottom there, and you can see that open, and it got, right now, we're within about, 2 or 3 pips of that level.
Yeah. And that just tells you that, it's going to want to go back there more times than not. You see that candle there, those two candles, that red candle, and then you see that green candle right after it back on the 29th. You're right. That's a tweezer pattern. If you're into candlestick patterns and stuff, you see that set up, you take the trade on the next 1 hour candle, once it goes and crosses some type of structure of some sort. And if you would have done that, you could roll that thing up for 50, 60 pips today easily. Not today, but in back over the last couple of days, you could have done. I guess it would have been on Friday. Could have rolled that up for 50, 60 pips. But today, the thing is, when it's made the turn and started to come down, you can start looking at that and say, you know what? that was a pretty abrupt turn. We need to go back down there and maybe go and test that again. Maybe we need to go and test that and see if that really is a place where there's people sitting down there saying, I'm not going to let the price get any lower than this. And, and as far as I'm concerned, a lot of people say it's got to get right to the pip or right to the point or whatever. We got to, right now, I'm looking at, we got within actually on my chart 1.1 pips from actually getting to that level. You know what that tells me? That tells me we made it. We actually made it to that level because, nothing's exact. Trading is certainly not exact. We got down there, we tested it. Now, may come back down there and test it again? Sure. You may test it 3, 4, 5 times. I don't know. But what I do know is that was when I'm sitting up there, on the previous hour, and I'm sitting there and I got a signal to go short, and I'm looking at my overall place where I could go. I'm sitting there saying, that's a possibility I could go and pick up 35, 37, 38 pips on that trade if I stick with it. Maybe, maybe not, but there's the potential there.
Yeah, so now it's the top of the hour here. So if we just look at a Walmal, the simple Walmal trade, we go long at 80 and short at 70.
Yep. And the thing is, I got a bunch of closes, daily closes that are right before you get there. So if I was to go long, I'd probably be going long and taking that trade and with my finger on the close button, because if you also look left, there's, the previous hour we had a really big wick back down, and so it's the type of thing where it may go up, but at the same time it repelled that level pretty quickly. So if I was to take that long there, I'd be waiting to get out real as quick as possible. Also on the trade down, I probably wouldn't be waiting for it to get all the way down to down to the 70 level. I'd probably be looking to get in right about now, right here at the 73 level. And the reason why is because that was a close from about a week ago, and so we got some white space down there. So if I got there and I saw a clear signal to go and take that short there, I'd probably get in there at that level as opposed to waiting for it to get all the way down to 70.
So, but you don't want to, confuse the traders out there.
I know. That's sort of more of like an advanced way of looking at it, and by doing what I said, it can keep you out of it can get you a few more pips, but the thing is, it's not really the method. It's just, experience has taught me that, hey, I can pick up an extra 3 or 4 pips if I do it that way.
Yeah, so basically, if you look at a daily chart, you can see there was a close here and a close here, and so as it was going down, it was breaking those daily closes or some of these daily opens here, and that, I think, is why you were saying if you're going to break it, get in there, because it could reverse, and as you mentioned, you may have gotten your couple of pips. It never hit the Walmal line, so traders would be safe here. So now it's turned around at the 80, or heading back towards the 80. So what this big wick on the previous hour is telling me is there's a bunch of sellers between 90 and the 00, and chances are price isn't going to stay between 70 and 80. And I think, if anything, it's going to probably go into the 80 station from here rather than the 60 station, because it already went there last hour and got rejected.
Yep. Yeah, it's just, and that's just, do you know that it's going to do? No. Do I know? No, absolutely not. Nobody knows. But the thing is, we can pick up some clues, as to where there are more sellers and more buyers, and just by looking at the chart. And that's the whole thing. Look at the chart. Use your eyes and pay attention to what's going on. And by paying attention, you can start, observing some things. And by observing those things, you can go and make better guesses, because that's really what trading is. You're making guesses based on what price is doing.
Yeah.
And
so, once again, the fastest 15 minutes in trading is up. We'll continue this probably through the week. Just going over trades like that, looking at the charts, showing where the trades could be. So, fellow traders, I hope that helped you out. And just remember, when you sit down at your trading platform, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.